She's famous for being an awful person. And I'm going to tell you why.
I'm really excited to put up this week's episode, and part of why it's so good is because I put a lot of work into it. So if you could just like and subscribe, that would help us out a lot. Please enjoy the show. Thanks for watching.
What are you guys drinking?
Alright, I am drinking lemon tea, that's what it is.
I'm drinking fake chai.
We'll come back to that.
It's the perfect texture for drinking.
Why is it fake?
This is tea ASMR. Oh yeah, this is a tea bag. Chai tea doesn't come in a tea bag. Wait, do you not know how chai tea is made?
Don't come after me. Like, I'm gonna get roasted in the comments for not knowing that.
You know what my favorite was? I would drink chai tea concentrate.
That was actually
It
pretty
was
fire.
honestly hot fire.
Our childhood was lit. So you take like a saucepan of milk, and then you put a bunch of spice, like straight up spices into the milk. And
It
then
doesn't
just
matter
boil it.
what spice.
Just any spice, like black pepper.
Cayenne.
Put it in, chili peppers.
Who knows?
Destroy us, guys.
And then you boil it, and then it's got like star anise and cardamom.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's the tea for the week, guys.
That's it.
That's
Please
it.
Remember to like and
Join in next
subscribe.
time.
Apparently, this is my thing.
Why do you have so much chai tea knowledge?
I actually spent my childhood in India, and then I moved to Boston, and now I'm just an Indian. I'm living in Boston, and una cerveza of Corona, please.
Please keep that in.
Hilaria Baldwin flashback
Hilaria Baldwin,
to our
I
most
love
popular
it.
video. Who can take me out of context first?
Berries versus lions. You know that whole thing?
Yeah.
Those were tea bags.
Shout out to the Irish viewers.
The interesting thing is, I don't think they actually had the string. I don't remember. I don't think you take it out at all.
Yeah,
Right?
you do. I don't actually. I
I'm
don't
also
claim to
going to
know.
get roasted in the comments. You know, for a show that's all about tea, we know surprisingly
nothing
little
about
about
tea.
tea.
I did not expect us to talk about tea for this long.
Yeah.
We have like a few different teas, but I figure
Yeah.
we'll just ride this for a while.
Yeah.
I really did have something to say about tea, though.
Was it about chai tea?
Loose leaf.
Oh, loose leaf, yeah. Okay, hear me out. Loose leaf books, like, they're not bound. They don't have like a cover. It's just like pages. And then if you don't like the way the story's going, you can like move the pages around. Or if like, let's say you and a friend want to read a book and like she's a faster reader than you, you give her the first half of the book and then you wait and then she's done in like a day and then she gives it back. You read the first half and then she's already reading the second half.
You want your book back, don't you?
Give me my book back, Melanie.
Who's Melanie?
The
Also,
tea on
I love how you
Melanie.
assumed the she in this is a faster reader. Who's reading faster, men or women?
I think women read
I don't
faster
know.
because they have
I
more
think
anxiety.
women read into things faster.
Hands down, high schoolers across the board. Here's the thing: we could all read books faster when we were younger, and now it takes like a month to read a book. Am I wrong? When I was a kid, like junior high, you had to read books because there was nothing else to do. I had a professor in college, my favorite professor in the world, one of my favorites. So we would all like get to class early. The professor would arrive, but he wouldn't actually stop us from chatting. So we would all be chatting and having a conversation. And then he would walk in, sit on his desk because professors don't sit in chairs; they sit on desks. And then like he would
That's kind
say
of a
something.
mood, honestly.
And then we're all talking, and then he's like saying other things. And then you could see slowly the percentage of us talking to him talking was doing this until he was slowly talking more than us. And then he would start monologuing, and then he would seamlessly go into the topic for the class. But to be honest, basically everything he said had to do with Goethe. As soon as he started talking about Goethe, you knew he was going to the class.
Because there was one class I was in. It's the worst class I've ever been in.
Yeah.
I can't say. I'm not gonna say who the teacher is. But anyway, when I walked in there, it was like the first day of class, and I was late to class. And when I walked in, I chose the door that was at the front of the class and not at the back of the class.
How embarrassing
So the
for you.
teacher was there, and the teacher is like, she stops me in front of the whole class, and she asks me, "Are you a wizard, a soldier, or..." I can't remember what the third one was.
Wizard, soldier, thief. Is thief, right?
It might be. And it was just about like what different types of personalities were. But yeah, that was an awful class. I sat in the back. You
Hold on,
reminded me
that
about
was the
sitting in
low
back.
point?
No, she would like take smoke breaks in the middle of class. We hardly learned anything, and she was like obsessed with the Lady Tiger problems. Like we studied that for most of the thing.
That was her Goethe.
So, exactly. So basically I sat in the back of the class with a bunch of other students, and we just basically griped the whole time.
Love.
And it was really fun.
And then she got a lot of online hate from like when you can rate your professor. and it
Yeah.
really hurt her feelings.
And she was like discussing it in class, but it's tough because no one wanted to be in her class, and like she was just not a good teacher. She wasn't organized. She literally took smoke breaks, sent students out to get things. People dragged her on Rate My Professors, and I think that's that's obviously an okay thing to do, just so long as you don't go after like who your teacher is personally or their looks. They totally crossed the line. Someone posted a bad picture of her and stuff, and it really hurt her. But it was tough because she was a bad teacher and she should have gotten those reviews. But at the same time, there's lines you shouldn't cross.
You know what lines you shouldn't cross? Talking about your fetishes in a Shakespeare class. He got fired.
He was the worst.
I can't find him anywhere on the school website anymore.
Do you know what's so wrong? The pepper. On Rate My Professors, you can like give the teacher a hot
That's-
pepper.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the pepper.
Oh, you don't have a problem.
I don't have a problem with that.
You one day want to be a professor, and you're just like,
I want 4 peppers. I want to be a 4-pepper professor. I don't think anyone's like taking/not taking classes based on a 2-pepper teacher. If I'm wrong, let me know.
Honestly, I feel like for a lot of people, it makes sense to not do the 4-pepper.
Why?
Distracting.
Okay. I understand if you get 1 pepper, that is sad. No one should get 1 pepper. People average at like 3 peppers. I think that's the average.
Nice.
Are we going on a 1 to 5 pepper scale? The pepper professor system is like a poignant example of locker room culture. Should people be held accountable for what they say in a closed community with their peers?
Yes and no. For one, I don't think the Rate Your Professor is kind of
Oh,
private
it's not
enough,
private.
because a professor can literally go on
True.
and see that.
There's a really good Bible scripture about this, and it says, "Don't slander the king, even in your bedroom, otherwise a bird will tell the tale." Something to that effect.
A bird knows what's good.
I think that's probably where the phrase, like, a little bird told me.
I
came
think so,
from.
yeah.
It's true. Like, those things you don't think are gonna get out that you say like that do end up getting out sometimes. You can sometimes get comments without the context, and so it's very easy to misconstrue things in today's world. Probably back then too, but like, especially now, it's like when you have little audio recordings of something,
Like this?
Exactly.
I'm sure the professor does. How did we
I'm
get
gonna
here?
get
How do
Cancelled.
you feel about this? You've been kind of silent about
I
it.
didn't go to college. I don't.
No pepper professors for you.
I don't know. I'm curious how professors feel about it.
Yeah,
Good
I'm curious
question.
about that,
Can
too.
we get a professor and interview them?
We should get one who's really high and one who's really low.
Oh, so we chose you because you're a 1-pepper professor.
They couldn't know who we're talking to,
Uh-huh.
so we put them in a room and there's like a speaker that we talk to them through.
Uh-huh.
But because we don't want them to be scared of COVID, we'll kidnap them and blindfold them and then put them
So
in
they
the
won't
room.
be scared of COVID. They'll just have.
Yeah.
the
I
fear of the
hate
fact that
everything
they got
about this
kidnapped.
idea.
I feel like I was going somewhere with that. I think that's it on the peppers.
I don't know
I feel like we hit
how
the
did
end
we
of the
get
room.
here.
I just thought of my worst professor.
Yeah.
He would literally sit down and do like a slideshow
Uh-huh.
and read the slideshow. But the slides were literally just the pages in the textbook that we read that week. And he would just read it.
No.
And here's the worst part is that in 30 years, when I'm hopefully a professor, I know this is going to come up. Like, they're going to put this on the projector while I'm teaching. And they're going to be like, you're a 2-pepper teacher. And then it came back around to bite me.
Maybe start sooner than 30 years if you want to not be a 2-pepper teacher. I just roasted your 60-year-old. Maybe start at 45. I feel like peak.
45 is peak. I had a professor who sounded exactly like Elaine Bennis. And the only recording I have of her was when she was talking about cannibalism.
Why did I think it was a man?
I did too, weirdly.
Because professors are all men.
Is the term professor sexist?
One of the best professors I had was a public speaking teacher. I don't remember what her
same.
name was. She literally made us practice public speaking almost every class.
Yeah.
And it was so uncomfortable at first, but honestly, it's what I attribute most of my public speaking skills to.
She had us giving
What-
presentations on day 1.
Yeah.
What's the rest of your public speaking skills come from?
Work.
Don't you work in a cubicle?
No, sometimes I
Literally has never worked in a cubicle. Guys, at this point they're going to pepper us in the comments now, right?
Pepper us.
Pepper
No!
us. No.
Pepper me.
What did we ask for?
Is peppering just a reverse roast?
It could be a reverse roast, or it could really be a roast if you just get
It
like
really
that.
That's
could
true.
be.
Can we pepper them back? I'm fully prepared for the 1 pepper. And I think at that point I'm ready to take on anything.
I am not
What would be
prepared for
funny
the one
is if
pepper.
they gave all of call us one pepper.
Combined. Like you guys add up to one pepper.
Together, we're
up to
all
you
3.
one pepper.
Together, we're very attractive.
Did you say together we add up to 3 peppers?
Any other weird college stuff?
Oh, so many weird college stuff. I think I already said that I went under an assumed name.
I have a similar situation. Not that I changed my name, but my sister, when she went to work at a salon, someone already had that name. So they're like, where were you born? And she's like, I was born here. They're like,
yeah.
That's your name.
Yeah.
And so I would see her coworkers and I'd say her name and everyone would be like, they would look at me because I said the wrong name. So,
Perfect.
And then she would get angry at me. I'm sure did you get angry at him when you got your name wrong?
No, I was just like, Sam, come on, it's Michael.
Yeah, that's anger.
Well, it was more like annoyance. I just didn't want people to be confused. Was it Jonah?
You changed your name.
Yeah.
But I think the person who went furthest in changing their name was definitely Anna Delvey. Or Anna Sorokin, depending on who you listen to. And that's my tea for tonight.
That
No.
name sounds so familiar, but I can't.
It sounds super familiar.
She's famous for being an awful person. And I'm going to tell you why. Anna Sorokin was born outside of Moscow in 1991. Her family moved to Germany. She kind of stayed under the radar. Nobody knew who she was. She eventually ended up getting an internship in Paris at a magazine called Purple. After that, she decided she wanted to go and live her best life in New York City. So she moved to Manhattan. Her dream was to buy a piece of property on Park Avenue.
Which doesn't sound bad so far.
Right?
Yeah.
Just a girl wants to live the
Living her
American dream. She basically opened up a bunch of fake bank accounts, deposited bad checks, got the money before the checks bounced, and then flashed the cash around. She was a cash flasher, Jerry. And then, like, by flashing cash, she was able to fake her way into New York society. So she was famous for being a fake socialite. And so now that she had everybody's goodwill and the Instagram followers, she started upping her game. And she would go to Le Cuckoo, which is like a super exclusive restaurant in New York City. She was ordering stuff off the menu. She was staying at the Howard and racking up thousands and thousands of dollars of debt. But because the people who own these hotels would look at her online and see this huge following and like notoriety, and Anna Delvey, she was called Anna Delvey. So they're like, oh yeah, it's Anna Delvey. We know her. Just put her in the suite. We'll get the credit card later. She didn't have credit cards. She had no credit cards. She had all cash. She worked in cash. She befriended this woman named Rachel. She and her friend Rachel were going to clubs and restaurants, just having fun. Rachel was like, oh, Anna's a really cool girl. You know? Anna was like, hey, let's go to the Casbah in Morocco. I'll take care of everything. You don't have money? It's fine. It's my treat. Let's go to Morocco with a bunch of friends and take some pictures. And so they went to Morocco, stayed at this really nice $7,000 a night villa. And basically at the end of the trip, the hotel was like, Miss Delvey, we don't have any credit card for you. And she was giving excuses and stuff. And finally, the hotel management cornered them all in their room. And they were like, we need a credit card now. And so what happened is that the Vanity Fair writer, Rachel Williams, she ended up getting pressured by Anna to give the hotel her credit card. $62,000.
More than she makes
in a year.
Oh my goodness.
So after that, they finally get back to New York, and that's when it comes out that Anna is a scammer.
Oh, that's horrible.
So after all of this, Anna gets hit up for second-degree larceny, and she goes to court. She actually put off a bunch of court dates because she didn't know what she was going to wear. This is the level of person we're dealing with. Yeah, even after everything was said and done, Anna Sorokin was like, yeah, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry for what I did.
What?
And she's getting a Netflix deal. Now,
No.
here's the thing. According to the court order, she's not allowed to take any profit. But the money from the movie that she does get, she has to pay back the people she scammed. So it's kind of balancing out.
Harry and Meghan using Netflix to pay people back.
It's exactly that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost the
That's
same
really
amount of money
weird.
too, I think. That's the tea about Anna. Rachel Williams was able to get most of her money back from American Express because it was a fraud.
Oh, good.
Oh,
So she came out kind of on top. So
Not as on top as Anna, apparently.
no.
Anna's not on top. Anna's in jail till October
she's in
at
jail.
least. At least
How
until
long has she
October.
been in jail?
I think her sentence was 4 or 5 years.
But she's still getting a Netflix deal.
But the money's
And
going to
Oprah
pay.
knows her.
off her debt.
But then the
And
second
now
man
she's
would
going to be
steal.
famous after she leaves.
She's already famous.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised you guys haven't seen her on any
She
teacher.
sounds-
She
Super
sounds so
familiar.
familiar, but
Yeah.
I think I've like seen her flash news, but I don't
Probably.
think I've looked at
I mean,
it.
she's hot
So
tea.
weird.
She's like
Oh my
4 pepper
goodness.
hot tea. This reminds me of the kid who hacked into the Pentagon,
Yep.
which is a very federal crime, I'm pretty sure, and then got a job with the Pentagon. Should criminals be rewarded if what they did ended up being good?
I think in some cases, you almost have to work with the criminals because they're too much of a threat to have on the wrong side.
I
Like
hate
they
that.
they can be more. Well, let me rephrase that. Sometimes it's a smarter move to work with the criminals because they're a better asset on your side than they are
I still
sitting
hate
in
it.
jail.
We finally got tea that's
I mean,
disagreed on.
I get it. At the same time, it just squashes on the little people so much.
Yeah.
Like Rachel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
because Rachel's not getting a Netflix deal.
Rachel's getting an HBO deal.
Oh, good for you,
Oh, nice.
Rachel.
Get it,
Yeah, she's
Rachel.
getting HBO. So it's so funny. Netflix is
And
doing
she's
one
getting
about
paid for it.
Netflix is doing one about Anna. HBO is doing one about Rachel. So you'll have
That's
both
really
sides.
funny.
What would happen if we just like ignored criminals?
It would be like Bane's Gotham.
I'm not getting
We have
this
a
at all.
movie we need to watch at some point.
Have you not seen
I don't like superhero movies.
A Dark Knight. Is
Yeah.
is
Dark Knight
Batman
Rises, actually?
one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
No
not for
Batman
me.
for you?
No,
No
Not your
Batman. I
style.
don't like Batman.
I think you're wrong. Do you not like?
Well, how do I answer that?
Do you like old Batman?
Like 60s?
Yeah.
No. I've never liked
But
Batman.
this is very different.
Yeah, I've never liked Batman. If we ignored crime. Oh no, I'm not talking about like if someone robs a bank and you're like, just don't look
You're
at him, guys.
Okay.
If you ignore him, he'll go away. I'm talking about
Like, wow, you did a really good job at stealing all our money. We're gonna hire you now.
like that, okay? Like, how many people know about Anna Sorokin at this point? She's famous.
Apparently,
Yeah.
we did.
In some ways, she didn't get what she wanted because she did want that property on Park Avenue South.
Give her a couple more years.
She
But-
got what she wanted because she got notoriety, though, and that's the thing. It's like, to take away someone's notoriety, the only way to do that is to put them in jail for a while, you know. 'Cause then they
Jail's
can't operate in
problematic.
the world and-
Not gonna lie.
I agree with that, but at the same time, I think when you start rewarding criminals that way, you just reward it.
The best defense is a job well done. I read that in a book whose author follows me on Instagram. That was like a highlight for me.
I talked to
That's
Michaela
cool.
Peterson on Instagram, so it's fine.
Okay, whoever that is.
Yeah,
Oh, really? That's
we've
cool.
talked at least 3 or 4 times.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're gonna be best friends in a couple years.
Uh-huh.
At the end of the book, The Line Tender by Kate Allen, it has a line that says, "The best defense is a job well done." And basically what it means is the girl had taken a harpoon. They were out like hunting for sharks. And she took this harpoon that had a bunch of expensive equipment on it and she harpooned it at the shark.
Uh-huh.
If she missed, they would have lost all the equipment, but she
Yeah.
didn't miss. She hit the shark. She wasn't supposed to throw it, but because she did a good job,
Uh-huh.
it panned out. And they were like, okay, if that didn't work out, you would be in a
Oh,
lot
I
of
see
trouble.
what you mean.
So it's almost like the don't get caught principle.
Yeah. It depends, like, the nature of the crime, too, because if you hack the Pentagon and, like, put pictures of Justin Bieber on everyone's desktop...
Wait, that's
no.
what he did?
No, that's not what he did. I'm
I
just
wish.
using it as an example. Do you know what I mean? Like, some people hack just for the LOL of it, and I think
Yeah.
in that case, you know, those people can be really valuable assets. Do you know how Edward Snowden happened? Because he was a sysadmin. Netflix, Pinterest, YouTube. There's this concept of people who can get in and do anything that they want in the system. There's a lot of programmers out there who have a lot of power, and that's actually what happened with Edward Snowden, is that he was someone who knew a lot about a lot of the government's internal databases. So they just gave him like access to a bunch of systems.
Top security.
And that's why he
clearance.
was able to do the leak that he did. And this is actually something that exists in a ton of places. There are all these software developers who these businesses just trust because they're like, you guys are here to do support, so we might as well just give you all the privileges.
Do you guys like this at a small scale?
Oh,
you're
getting
like,
away with stuff?
Yeah, because they did a good job at it.
If you're trying to do things the right way and then someone else does that and get away with it,
Yeah.
it's like, come on.
There are some times, though, in society where the rules need to be broken in order to advance things. Are you familiar with like North, East, South, and West genres of movies? A lot of Asian movies are Northern movies, which is where someone from within the protective part of the culture is able to reform the protective part of the culture.
Film theory, that's
There's
fine.
only 36 stories.
I thought it was like 4.
It's either 36 or 37, but if you look up like the 36 dramas or something like that, you can go to Wikipedia and it'll show you
really?
all of them.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
I wonder what my life is.
Yours is the 40th.
I'm so special.
Because sometimes systems get too stubborn. Even revolution on a small scale, like, I'm not going to abide by that. I'm just going to do this thing. Anna Sorokin is a horrible example of it. But sometimes people do things like that and it actually manages
I
to
get it.
reform the order.
So she
that's
kind
taken
of
over.
jolted the social scene in a way.
Yeah. Or even something like, do you remember that guy who broke into the White House dinner?
Oh my gosh.
Like even
Yeah.
something
Wasn't
like
it a
that
couple?
can shine,
Yeah.
can shine
They
light
were
on
good.
like they were totally harmless in the White House dinner, but they're like, hey, you know, your secret security, like your Secret Service needs a little bit of work, you know.
Yeah.
So
Did they give themselves away?
I don't remember if they gave
don't think
themselves
they
away
did.
or
I think there's
whatnot.
there were Facebook pictures of them with like
Yeah.
Obama, and then everyone was just like,
This is
they weren't supposed to be there.
That's hot tea.
Yeah.
I still want to return.
Fortunately, it's old.
I still want to return to the idea of the small scale version because
Yeah.
my thing is, does the person who does that kind of stuff do it on a small scale as well?
Did she scam her parents when she was a kid? Like that?
Maybe not go back to childhood.
There's very little that I could find about like her upbringing.
I don't know. I think I'm still have an issue with. I understand that you, like you said, it can kind of make change happen.
The main problem that I have with this is like, yes, she's going to jail, but at the end of the day, you know, money isn't the only asset that there is, and she's walking away with an enormous amount of value in terms of a following, which is a very lucrative thing to have in America.
True.
So it's like, you know, you can fine her money or take away the money that she had, but at
She's
the end of the day,
famous.
she's not going back to zero.
Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, should we do a bonus tea? So I was on Twitter. My Twitter, I talked about this in Mahjong on Twitter. Like it went from being 2 different kinds of voices to just being one
Yep.
voice at this point.
Yeah.
And I found this fun tweet, and it was Khloe Kardashian put a facepalm emoji, and then this girl whose name is an asterisk, I guess. Anyway, she said "girl you meant," and then she posted the white version. So I zoomed in, and I found here. I'll give you one. I'll give you the girl one. Okay, so there's different races of emoji, different races. Supposedly it was done to include more people,
Right.
and it actually caused more outrage than it did good. Do you know about the drama?
No, I don't know about the drama.
This was released a few years, I think 3 years ago. They
Yep.
released the multi-skin colors.
Yeah.
And then there was actually an uproar about it from the like the race theory community. Okay, let's do the party problem. You invite 2 people to a party. It's a small dinner party. If you invite 5 people, it's getting bigger. If you invite 12 people to a party, everyone you know who was not invited to the party is now feeling slighted because they didn't get invited to the party. The more people you include, the more people you also exclude. So the problem with these, you have 6 different choices. One of them is not even human.
Yep.
Like the gold, like the yellow face emoji, honestly is just...
Which is what it should be, honestly.
It should be that, and I think
That's
they-
why no one discusses race theory with Legos.
Right? This is not a black person's hair. They just made it a different color.
Yeah.
And that was one of the main issues was that like you just added 5 colors and you know, who does
And
this
then,
help?
like, do you have to add every race if you're going to do that? Like, all the different hairstyles?
Like where's the redhead?
Like the-
So
Chloe
this
doesn't
is
even look like this at all.
That's a different character
that's
set.
yeah, that's Twitter's native character set.
Yeah.
So I took the liberty of zooming in to the color that Khloe Kardashian used. I think I'm darker.
Yeah.
Is this like the same color, right?
That's
You're like
about the same
match.
you're around there.
Like this
Yeah.
is me. This is my color. So all that to say, please don't police the color emojis that people use to represent themselves. I mean, that's about the same color.
Y'all never went to Sephora and had to find your foundation.
And it shows. Thanks, guys. As always, let us know in the comments if you have any ideas for hot tea.
Yeah.
Or if what we said offended
Please.
you.
Yeah.
Because honestly, we just like the attention. I like the attention.
I like the attention.
Pointed at
Not
me.
gonna lie.